Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. The El Pinar circuit in Uruguay welcomes you for the Kumho TCR World Tour and TCR South America Banco BRB Round 12 here at a beautiful circuit in ever-improving weather conditions for our second race of the weekend following a cracking event earlier on today won by home hero Santiago Arrutia. But first, the national anthem. Wonderful scenes down on the grid as they're doing the inauguration ceremony for this newly redeveloped circuit. The code is to be cut. And there we go. The El Pinar circuit in Uruguay is now officially open as it welcomes the Kumho TCR World Tour and International Touring Car Racing for the very first time alongside the mightily impressive TCR South America Banco BRB Championship. The ribbon has been cut, the national anthem has been played, and the eagle-eyed of you will spot 30 TCR touring cars lined up on the grid and ready to go racing. And now we have a quick interview with Fabiana Ecclestone down on the grid, the Vice President of the FI.
Fabiana, such a pleasure to see you here. Welcome to Uruguay. And what can you tell me about the importance of the TCR World Tour racing here in South America?
Thank you for hosting us here. It's an incredible event to see how many people turn up today and have a Uruguayan national winning as well, one of the categories. It's super important to strengthen South America and develop motorsport in our region.
Thank you very much and enjoy the race.
Thank you.
Fabiana Ecclestone there, coming to see what touring car racing in Uruguay at the El Pinar circuit in the Kumho TCR World Tour and TCR South America Banco BRB is all about, and she will have been treated to a fantastic race that we saw earlier on today, won by Santiago Arrutier from Uruguay on home soil in the Cyan Racing Lincoln Co machine. Teammate Ted Bjork followed him across the line in second position, with Frederick Vervisch rounding out the podium places, and Ignacio Montenegro was the winner of the TCR South America field. If you missed that race, you missed a great event, and we expect more of the same in a few moments' time. The entry list is on screen now from our drivers. 9 Kumho TCR World Tour stars join the 21 TCR South America drivers, headed by that man, Ignacio Montenegro, championship leader and winner of the opening race today. Juan Manuel Casella was in second position, and guest driver Esteban Gutierrez rounded out the podium in TCR South America. They were 10th, 11th and 12th positions respectively in the overall running order. TCR South America has put on a great show this weekend. We've had fantastic support events. We have a fly pass going over at this moment in time. We've had drift car racing, a fan zone, giving out free drinks and prizes to people, and the 20,000 plus spectators that have descended upon this circuit this weekend to see their home drivers, and Santiago Arrutier in particular, and how they can perform on this race circuit. It's worth bearing in mind, of course, that this is a reverse grid race, so qualification took place yesterday morning. The top 10 drivers in the qualification will be reversed for race 2. So although you still see 2 Lincoln Co Cyan racing cars at the front of the grid, they're different Lincoln Co Cyan racing cars than we saw this morning. Marcin Hua is the man that will start on pole position with Jan Elishay in second place. Mikel Azcona is ahead of Juan Manuel Casella, third and fourth position. Rob Huff, Frederick Vervisch, a fifth and sixth position. Norbert Mikulich in seventh, with Bebu Girolami in eighth. Ted Bjork finished second yesterday, starts ninth today. Santiago Arrutier won yesterday, starts in 10th position. You'll have seen a sign that come up on the screen there saying the start has been delayed for a few moments. I'll let you know when I find out myself when the new starting time will be. But rest assured, we're only a few minutes away from taking the green flag and going motor racing once again here in South America in the Kumho TCR World Tour. This is round 12 of the championship. Round 11 was earlier today. Following this event, straight away again, next weekend we travel to Argentina to race on the very impressive looking San Luis street circuit. I'm expecting that one to be a very fierce test of the drivers. It's a quick street circuit, it's wide in parts, 30 metres on the start-finish straight, so that will encourage too wide racing from our drivers, which is always too wide. Maybe I'm being a bit optimistic. 4 wide is more realistic. So I'm looking forward to that one as well. Put a date in your diary. Make sure you don't miss out on that one. Stay tuned to the TCR Series social media channels and the TCR South America social media channels for more information. For those of you watching on YouTube, a big welcome to this broadcast. Thank you for being with us today. Please do take note that the TCR TV app is available to download. It's free to download, free to register, and within the app we have a wealth of live racing and archive events throughout the world of TCR competition, from TCR Japan, TCR Australia, TCR UK, TCR Europe, Kumho TCR World Tour, Denmark, and many more besides. It's very much worth getting hold of that app, and you can watch TCR racing on the go on any device wherever you are. Thoroughly recommend doing that one if you've not done so already, as we continue to wait for the new start time. The drivers and the teams are prepared on the grid. Beautiful drone shots, it has to be said, as we're looking at these 30 TCR touring cars. Look absolutely sensational, and I will say the presentation of the TCR South America teams and drivers is absolutely first class. The Squadra Martino team, for example, in the Hondas, the Honda that was driven by Juan Manuel Casella into 11th position, and Ignacio Montenegro into 10th position overall. Those cars look particularly good. They're not the latest specification Honda, they are the previous generation, but still very competitive indeed. And of course, Toyota, a brand that we have seen nothing of in Europe, as they are built, developed and released by Toyota Gazoo Argentina. There are many Toyotas on the grid in TCR South America, and that car has proven in the National Series to be incredibly quick, but also against the stars of the World Tour as well. A very fast car, a very well put together machine, and I'm sure many watching this series for the first time will have had their eyes open to just how good that Corolla TCR machine is. Whether that then goes into production and sale in Europe is still a question that needs to be answered, but I'm sure should Toyota Gazoo Argentina decide to make this vehicle available outside of their local region, there'll be plenty of interested parties taking a good, long, hard look at that car indeed. While we're waiting for the start, let's have a quick look at the entry list that we've got for this series. So, of course, the 9 Kumho TCR World Tour regulars are taking part: Nestor Girolami and Rob Huff, Frederick Verviche, Marcin Hua, Jan Elishe, Santiago Urrutia, Ted Bjork, and Mikel Azcona and Norbert Mikulis take place. Interesting thing to note, that although Nestor Girolami is here and he is in the FL5 TCR Honda Civic, it's not for ALM Motorsport, but Squadra Martino Racing are running the Argentine driver's car this weekend. In terms of the Kumho TCR, in terms of the TCR South America contingent, WT Pro GP, 2 Cupras running Rafael Reis and Galid Osman line up on the grid, both Brazilian drivers. Cobra Racing Team, again, 2 Brazilian drivers, Diego Nunes and Adalberto Baptista, running the Toyota Corolla TCR. Ignacio Montenegro, Enrique Maglione are in Honda Civic Type Rs for Squadra Martino, and they're joined by Juan Manuel Casella from Argentina. PMO Motorsport have a Lincoln Co pair for Rafael Suzuki and Frederick Balbi. Michel Bonin and Carlos Silva are driving the Alfa Romeo Giulietta for Alfa Racing. PMO Motorsports are running Peugeots, 2 Peugeot 308 GTI TCR cars for Gonzalo Riley and Damian Fenesche. Toyota Team Argentina, the Works Toyota team for Bernardo Java and Manuel Sepang. And then Hyundai Elantra N for Pedro Cardoso of Scuderia Cirelli. Baldini Racing run an Audi for Fabrizio Pizzini, last year's champion. And then they've also got a couple of Toyotas. Juan Angel Rosso and Fabian Iannatoni are running those cars. And then the new squad, Bratton Tito Bessone team in a Toyota Corolla TCR for Esteban Gutierrez, makes up the 30 cars that will make up this grid. And that's perfect timing. The green flag's been waved. The formation lap is about to get underway. Led, of course, by our poleman, Marcin Hua for Lincoln Co. Cyan Racing. Weather conditions are a touch warmer than we saw this morning. We raced at 9 a.m. local time earlier today. It is now 12:45, that's 1 p.m. local time here. There's a little bit of sun breaking through, although it's doing little to remove the chill in the air from the strong winds. The grip will still be very low out on the circuit, and that's the grid you can see forming marching from Jan Alishay, Mikel Azcona, Juan Manuel Casella, Rob Huff, Frederick Vervish, Norbert Mikulits in 7th, 8th, Nestor Girolami, 9th, Ted Bjork, Santiago Elroutier in 10th position. Ignacio Montenegro finished in 10th in the front of the TCR South America field. He'll start 11th, ahead of Esteban Gurrieri in 12th, and the rest of the drivers you can see at the bottom of your screen make up the 30 that will take part in this second race of the weekend, round 12 of the Kumho TCR World Tour, now joined by the TCR South America Banco BRB Championship for this weekend, and for the following weekend as well. We'll travel to Argentina to try out a very different circuit to where we are currently here today. So the El Pinar circuit has had an extension, especially for this event, to lengthen the track to include 4 additional corners. It's kind of a loop towards the end of the lap before they come on the long back straight into the difficult final turn, the Gonzalo Rodriguez curve, and then back to restart the lap again. It's extended the circuit, it's opened the opportunity for this track to have faster and more diverse race cars taking part over the course of the year. There's been some changes and modifications and improvements to the infrastructure behind the scenes as well. New buildings, new facilities have been erected in recent times, and they've been finished despite the horrendous weather that we've experienced, have been finished in time for this big event. So big credit to all the boys and girls behind the scenes that are responsible for putting this circuit together, this championship together as well. It's been a fantastic introduction to the world of South American motorsport for many of us in the Kumho TCR World Tour. And the best introduction one can possibly have is to have a good motor race, and that is what I am sure we are about to do as Paul Man Marchinquois lines his car up in position at the front of the field. Just like this morning, 2 Cyan Lincoln Co Racing cars are at the head of the field. Just like this morning, the bright orange Peugeot of Damien Riley will round out the field at the back of the grid in a few moments' time. For 30 minutes this time, an additional 5 minutes in this race, plus 1 lap, will go motor racing. The last of the cars are in position on the grid. The marshal will wave the green flag to check we are good to go motor racing once again. Here in Uruguay, that green flag has been waved. The lights on the gantry will be illuminated in a few moments' time. We are go for the Kumho TCR World Tour Round 11 here in Uruguay. Great start from Jan Alishay in second position. Immediately challenges contact with Marchinquois. Contact as well with the Hyundai behind. Very, very lucky that everybody made it through those opening few turns. Mikel Azcona elbows out, gets the car into second position after unceremoniously turfing away the Lincoln Co machine. All 3 drivers just about make it through that bit of contact, but Alishay down in third position will not be happy whatsoever about the aggressive nature of the driving in the opening through corners by his rivals. A little bit further on, we can see one of the Toyota Corollas getting out of shape, but they managed to keep the car back on the running order. Thankfully, everybody makes it through the opening few corners now. We've still got Marchinquois at the head of the field. Mikel Azcona has made his intentions known immediately and moves up into second position, 2 wide. Further down the running order, we come through the loop. Everybody makes it through successfully. Azcona still in second position. Jan Alishay checking the car for damage. Everything seems to be pretty much above board. Rob Huff into 4th position. That's a good start from Huff, starting in 5th, makes up 1 place, trying now to defend from teammate Frederick Vervish, earlier this morning's pole sitter, and Vervish has Norbert Mikulits looking down the inside. Mikulits very, very fortunate not to collect the rear of that Audi, but everybody survives that little bit of drama, and away we go. The first lap has been completed. Let's have a look at the front of the field. Marchinquois still under pressure from Azcona. Look at the inside wheel is the Hyundai driver. A little bit of a tighter line, will get a better run through that section of corners, but would it be enough to be in contention with his rival at the front of the field? Ted Bjork has moved up a couple of places as well. He's 9th position. Santiago Arutier's moved up into 8th place, so a good start from the Uruguayan driver to make up 2 positions off the line. Juan Manuel Casella holds on to 10th position. Ignacio Montenegro is down in 12th, so I'm not quite sure exactly what happened there, but he's down in 12th position, just a little bit further than he would have hoped. And let's take a look at the replay of the start. Good start from Elishay on the second position, starts alongside Marchinquois, and then there's Azcona, contact into the rear of the French drivers. That sends him into the side of his teammates, so a little bit naughty from Mikel Azcona there. Two cars into the space where only one will realistically go. Jan Elishay almost paid a big price for that incident, but he's managed to survive, although he's dropping off the back in third position. Norbert Mikulec is going side by side with Bebu Girolami. Girolami, we saw, not afraid to get the elbows out in race one, and now Santiago Urrutia is on a charge. So Urrutia trying to find a way past Girolami. They go side by side into the fastest section of the racetrack. Urrutia decides, wisely it has to be said, to give that one up, then dives to the inside. Can he get the job done? Yes, he can. That's a nice pass, but it opens the door for Ted Bjork. Up one, down one, all in the same move. Urrutia clears the Honda, but loses out to teammate Ted Bjork, who finished second this morning and is keen to bank another significant haul of points with another good race here in South America. So, taking stock of the moment, flash of the lights from Bebu Girolami there. He was not happy at all with this one, and much like is the way in touring car racing, race two often is a little bit crazier than we saw at the beginning of the day, and this seems to have been absolutely no different. We have to be careful though, because we're off to Argentina straight after this race, so you can't afford significant damage. If you do, you're going to be compromising the following weekend, but that is of no concern to these drivers. It's all about the here and now, and Mikel Azcona, here and now, wants to find a way past Marchinquois at the front of the field. Further back, Norbert Mikulec has a look, comes to nothing. Even further back, Manuel Casella goes side by side with Esteban Gutierrez. A little bit of contact between the two of them. Gutierrez just about holds on. Casella has work to do. Mikel Azcona at the front of the field, closing onto the back of Marchinquois. Can't find a way past yet the Cyan Racing Lincoln Co machine, but that Hyundai looks like it is in a good window at this moment in time. Let's have a look now. This is Nestor Girolami that we're looking at there. Good dive to the inside by Urrutia. That pushes both cars wide. Ted Bjork follows the normal racing line and gets past them both. A little bit of rubbing his racing going on there. If you come back with a wing mirror in a touring car, then you're not racing hard enough, is what they often say. And that was a good move, but Bjork close enough to take advantage and walks through the open door, the gift wrap door that Santiago Urrutia made for him. So 2 places gained for Santi. A good start to this race, but still work to do if he wants to break into that top 6. Rob Huff, Frederick Vervies as one at this moment in time. Huff is the leader of that particular inter-team battle. 4th and 5th position are the two ComTU Racing Audis, 179, 122. 122, Frederick Vervies' car. Just behind him, Norbert Mikulec on the defensive again. Ted Bjork this time, and there is Urrutia being overtaken, I think it was, by Nestor Girolami. So Girolami on the attack again. Rafael Reis had to come to an early end this morning, but he's having a good event so far, into 16th position. And the meatball flag for car number 15, so the mechanical warning flag for the Squadron Martino car of Enrique Maglione. He'll need to be a little bit careful as Norbert Mikulec and Ted Bjork still side by side. Bjork's got some speed in that Lincoln Co. Does Mikulec have what he needs to defend for the next 24 minutes? It's a big ask for the Hungarian driver. And Ted Bjork, we've seen the form he's in this weekend. Frustrated not to be able to take the race victory, just a little bit too far behind earlier on. But Bjork will be looking to make amends. And there is a drive-through penalty for car number 15, so that warning is now turned into a drive-through penalty for Enrique and Maglione. We'll be coming down pit lane in a few moments' time. It's a long pit lane here at El Pinar in terms of, in relative sense, compared to the circuit. So that would be a costly issue for Maglione, who's running outside of the top 20 at this moment in time. So not in danger of bothering the point scorers, but still a frustrating way to conclude this weekend's racing. As once again, Girolami looks to the inside. Once again, Girolami has been repelled by Ted Bjork. 7th and 8th position of those two drivers. Urrutia down in 9th, having lost one in the opening skirmishes. Here at the El Pinar circuit, in 10th position, Esteban Gurrieri is the man that leads the TCR South America standings ahead of Juan Manuel Casella and Ignacio Montenegro. They're 10th, 11th and 12th respectively, 1, 2, 3 in the TCR South America Banco BRB overall race classification for that category. Maglione, you can see there, 22nd position, just ahead of Pizzini, just behind, sorry, of Pizzini, 21st place. So he'll plummet to the rear of the field when he serves that drive-through penalty within the next 3 laps' time. Larutier, still looking at there in 9th position, not having quite the second race that he would have hoped to. And I'll be frank, it's been difficult for Santi. He won the race, and that's pretty much the last time anybody saw him, as he was whisked away to meet various people and dignitaries, presidents, various people of importance, as well, of course, of the fans. So preparation suboptimal, I think it is fair to say, for Santi coming into this race. Such is the cross you have to bear when racing on home soil and being so popular. But that is an inconvenience Santiago Arrutier will not mind one bit at all, especially as it comes with a race victory, as Rafael Race under pressure now. That is Race defending very hard indeed from Bernardo Java behind. Java trying to find a way past in the Toyota. They're 16th and 17th in the overall running order, but the Toyota is just about staying behind at this moment in time. Rafael Race on the defensive. Fabian Yanantuone has moved up to 18th position, so a better race this time around for Yanantuone. He retired with accident damage earlier on, but good work from the Toyota team to get that car back up and running again and in contention for some healthy points in the TCR South America classification. 8th overall in TCR South America is Yanantuone with that move, so a good points haul on the cards as things stand. Marchinquois, last time around, 1 minute 21.451, extends his lead to almost a second from Mikel Azcona at the front of the field. Jan Elishe struggling a little bit with that contact earlier in the race, seems to have found some confidence, found some speed in that car again as he's closing up on Azcona, and that'll all become absolutely irrelevant because the safety car has been called. The safety car has been called, the yellow flags are waving. The drivers will go down to the mandated speed and circulate slowly, while whatever dramas we've got on the circuit are cleared up by the race officials. And because this is a race that's going to time rather than traditional in TCR, Kumho TCR World Tour, where we traditionally do laps, this is time. So there will be no additional time added on to the overall race time. Whatever we serve under safety car will be taken away from the race itself. So for everybody's hope and benefit, let's hope this is a short intervention and we can get back to the racing action, as there is our Peugeot safety car leading the field around. 19 minutes 44 seconds left on the clock. Marchinquois is our race leader from Mikel Azcona in second. Jan Elishe, good start for Azcona, bad start for Elishe, down in third position, just ahead of Rob Huff with Frederic Verviche. Another solid weekend's work so far for Frederic. Fifth position, just ahead of Norbert Michelis, and there is the dramas that we're having to deal with at the circuit. The tyre barrier has been hit, the stack has lost its position, lost the wrap around it, so the marshals, great work to get that one back in position again, make sure it's safe to go motor racing, and then as soon as the race director is happy, the safety car will be called in and we'll be able to go once again. Good news for us at home, because that gives us bit of a reset for these drivers. Any gaps, hard-earned advantages that these drivers have acquired in the opening few laps all disappear, and it's back to hard racing again. Maglione, that's the driver that had the meatball flag earlier on and was called in for the drive-through penalty, and that's looking like some debris that will jettison itself from the car and make for a nice bit of take-home prize for whoever picks it up later on. One of the spectators can have a memory to hang on their wall when they get home. Hopefully Maglione served his drive-through and can get that damage sorted and stay racing safely here at the El Pinar circuit for the Kumho TCR World Tour and TCR South America Banco BRB, round 12 of the World Tour, the El Pinar circuit here in Uruguay. 18 minutes on the clock. There is the damage to the Honda. Squadron Martino car. There's a fleet of Squadron Martino cars running this weekend. One of the biggest and most respected race team organisations here in South America. They put out a fantastic car with some great drivers, of course, as well. Montenegro taking victory for the squad in TCR South America in a race just a couple of hours ago, showing their worth on the world stage as despite using previous generation car, still very firmly at the sharp end of the field and fighting very well with the drivers on the TCR World Tour. On board, Santiago Urrutia there, home hero. Great shot this actually, you can see through the window, but you can see him working away at the wheel and the pedals. What he's doing at the moment is just making sure the temperatures stay where they need to be throughout the car. That's the brakes as well as the tyres. You want to make sure that you don't let the tyres tyre pressures drop. You want to keep temperature in the brakes as well, because when we go green flag racing again, if your car needs to be in the optimal working window, especially if you're the likes of Urrutia in 9th position, you'll want to be moving up the order. And to do that, everything needs to be working in sync and in harmony. And that's what the driver will be doing during this safety car period. They'll have the dash and the dials that will tell them the safety car is out and when the green flag is waved again. They'll have radio contact as well, of course, from race control, informing them when we get to go racing again. And hopefully that will be quite soon, as that tyre stack has been attended to, I believe, by the marshals. When we get a tighter shot on the safety car, we can see the lights have been extinguished and we can get ready to go racing for the final 16 minutes and 21 seconds of this event. This is the new loop, by the way, that we were talking about, the extension to the circuit that has been introduced for this championship. It's a great addition to the track. Actually, the original layout still remains. There is the original layout that we were just passing through there. If you wish to use that one, there are a few different configurations of this track, but this is the longest form in which this circuit operates, the newest in this circuit operates, and it makes for a great racetrack for touring car racing. Bebo Girolami's Honda weaving to warm up the tyres. The safety car lights have gone out, so we will be going green again in a few moments' time. This is critical now. Get the car warm, bunch up the pack. Marchinguar has a bit of an advantage of Rathkona at this moment in time. He's gone first, courtesy of being at the front of the field, and Marchinguar has been to the shop and bought himself an advantage. That is a great restart by 155. Mikel Rathkona left snoozing a little bit there, it has to be said. Jan Alishay under big pressure from Rob Huff behind. Frederik Vervisch a healthy distance behind his teammate, so Huff has the green light to go and attack the back of that Lincoln Co machine behind Mr. Girolami, that we can see just running through shot in 8th position as well there. Santiago Urrutia in 9th, the leader of TCR South America, Esteban Guerrieri, currently in 10th position, just ahead of Juan Manuel Casella behind, and Ignacio Montenegro, the winner of TCR South America race 1 earlier today, is currently 3rd in class and 12th position overall in this race, with 14 and a half, just over minutes left to go, as we're green flag racing once again. That advantage from Mar is a very comfortable cushion, it has to be said, from Mikel Rathkona. It always surprises me, in the comfort of the commentary box, of course, or relative comfort, how drivers can allow their rivals to get such a big advantage on a safety car restart. But that was perfectly timed from Marchinguar. Really strong restart. That's given him a cushion of around a second now from Mikel Rathkona. But more importantly, for Mar, Jan Alishay is in that conversation as well. As we've seen now, a little bit of an attempt to dive. Rafael Reyes saw it coming, covered the inside line. Rafael Suzuki could not find a way past. No, sorry, not Rafael. Bernardo Java could not find a way past. There is the still damaged car that we see going through our shot there. So that one does not look to be getting better, but slightly worse. But he'll still be good, I think, to make it through to the checkered flag without any further dramas. Although running at the back of the field as Marchinguar is running at the very front of the field, and that gap, it was a second last time they crossed the line, 1.2 seconds. This is working out very nice indeed for Mar, as he's still on course to take his first victory of the season indeed. Marchinguar having not scored a race win in the Kumho TCR World Tour 2023 so far. That'll be a big result for the Cyan Lincoln Co driver, should he be able to keep this up for the next 13 minutes and change. Not the easiest task when Mikel Rathkona and teammate and championship challenger Jan Alishay are the next drivers in line to have a little nibble and try and find a way past that 155. Mahad, disappointing race result last time around, finished in 9th position, started in 10th. It's a place gained, but he would have been hoping for more, I'm sure would Marchinghua. So a race victory today will be a healthy points haul and a good start to the South American journey, the South American leg of the Kumho TCR World Tour, not to least to mention a confidence boost for the Cyan Link & Co driver, and that will mean that all of the Cyan Link & Co drivers will have taken a race victory this season, which I'm sure rests on Mars' head, as again that 15 receives the meatball flag, warning for the damage that's currently being carried by Enrique Maglione, down, all the way down at the bottom of the field at this moment in time. 12 minutes, 5 seconds left on the clock. There is home hero Santiago Arrutier, winner earlier on today, currently circulating in 9th position. The bit of drama with Nesta Girolamo seems to have taken the wind out of the sails of the Uruguayan driver. He's dropping away from that little battle pack, and well placed is Santi. If anything should occur at the front ahead of him, but not quite close enough to steal in of his own accord, so he'll need to find a bit more pace in the final portion of this race if he wants to be in that conversation for a position gain further up the field, as Norbert Mikulits looks to the inside of Frederick Vervies. Nothing doing, but that opens in the confusion the door for Ted Bjork to get completely blindsided by Nesta Girolamo into the final corner. Good pass for the Argentine driver, gets the deal done and moves up in the Honda. Riding on board now into this stunning opening sections of corners, seesawing away at the wheel is Girolamo. The car wants to run away from you as you hit the braking zone, but he does well to keep his marks now. And Ted Bjork, having overtaken Santiago Arrutier earlier on in the dramas with himself and Bebo Girolamo, now it's Arrutier's turn to try and extract a little bit of revenge. The two Cyan cars are running almost nose to tail. Next down the road is Esteban Gurrieri in 10th position. We've seen on the timing screens that Juan Angel Rosso has moved up a position as well, so he's in to 12th position. Who is that at the benefit of? It's Ignacio Montenegro. So Montenegro, who was 3rd in TCR South America, has had some kind of drama and has dropped all the way to 19th position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars have made their way past the Squadra Martino Honda machine. So Montenegro down in 19th. That's a big blow to his aspirations of extending his championship lead further at the conclusion of this race. Looking back, well, Frederick Vervies on the defensive. Norby trying to find a way past. No success this time around as we see the cars swooping down almost at flat chat at the back end of the straight into the final corner. And again, Girolamo looks. Again, Girolamo finds no space past the Hyundai N Squadra Corsa machine. Norbert Mikulits, can he get the inside line? No, he can't. Looks to the outside line. Nothing doing there. Tries to find another way back. But Norbert Mikulits, got a bit of experience, it's fair to say, and a fair bit of success for good measure. He's seen these moves before and very confidently has the line covered. So far, so good for the Hungarian driver. Girolamo still trying to find a way past, and then behind Ted Bjork goes rallycross style, does well to hold onto the car, does the Swedish driver. Bjork trying to find an opportunity, almost found himself a barrier, but survives that incident and is still very firmly painted to the rear of the Honda as Girolamo ahead. Girolamo in a bad situation here, wants to attack, also needs to keep a very firm eye on the rear view mirror, because not only will Ted Bjork be keen on finding a way past, but I'm absolutely certain Santiago Arrutier will take any opportunity presented to him to move a little further up the road in order, as there we see a little nibble from Bjork on the back of Girolamo again, but again no opportunity to find that way past. So what are we looking at here? This is the reason that Montenegro is dropping down the order, and that is not something we like to see. A loose wheel on the Honda machine. Quite how that's come about, we don't know, whether it's through contact or other reasons, but the end result is, sadly, for Ignacio Montenegro, that is the end of his weekend. Done and done in pit lane, from the high of race victory yesterday, this morning, to the low of an early retirement. Such is motor racing, and Montenegro and team will take that on board, learn from it, and hopefully move forward as we head to Argentina. There you go, the Kumho TCR World Tour guys just getting through a little bit of traffic. Blue flag's been waved by the marshals, warning the Honda that there are faster cars approaching. And everybody makes their way through without too much drama. Although Marcinkoir now, the gap to himself and Mikel Arcona has reduced to just under 0.4 of a second. Picture in picture there, a Montenegro car in pit lane being worked on by the stewards, by the team, but unfortunately the young Argentine is out of the car and into retirement. A bad end to the race, but it's been an impressive race nonetheless. Maglione still staying out of the way as the rest of the field try and find their way through. Nobody's really taken an advantage from that bit of traffic. Jan Elishay still holding on to third position, Rob Huff in fourth, Frederick Verbies in fifth, Noah Mikulis in sixth place with Girolamo Bjork, Urrutia in ninth, Esteban Guerrieri leading the Kumho TCR, leading the TCR South America Banco BRB field in fine style from Juan Manuel Casella in 11th, and Juan Angel Rosso rounding out those podium positions. Rosso, remember, was at the bottom step of the podium coming into the final lap this morning before Esteban Guerrieri very rudely interrupted and took that place away, so he'll be keen to try and hold on and secure a podium in TCR South America as well on the weekend of the Kumho TCR World Tour. And the Toyota driver doing himself a world of good at the moment with a 1.3 second advantage over Stock Car Brazil driver Rafael Suzuki in the Lincoln Co Generation 1. Mikel Arcona shows his nose to the inside, then to the outside, trying to scare Marcinkoir off of the racing line to compromise him through the final turn. Arcona using the curb and a little bit more as well. This feels to me like it's attack time for the Spanish driver. Mikel Arcona has decided he's had enough of following the back of the Lincoln Co. This doesn't want to be a Lincoln Co party this weekend. The BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corsa team fancy getting involved as well. And Mikel Arcona currently is the man best placed to make that effort. A Spanish driver in a Spanish-speaking country, and there is a car off into the barriers. That is the 35 machine. I'm looking down my timing screen for the name of the driver. 35 is Gonzalo Riley in the Peugeot. Argentinian driver Gonzalo Riley in the PMO Racing Peugeot, one of only two Peugeots in the field. Sadly looks like his day has come to an end as well, unless you can get that car back running again. There you see him, top of your shot, yellow flag covering the danger of the stationary car as our race leaders come through. Shame to see Riley in strife before the checkered flag is waved, and there is the forlorn looking Peugeot in the back of your shot as the field streams on through, still led by Marcinkoir, but the big question is for how much longer. Arcona tries the inside and the outside again, trying the same tactic that we saw on the previous lap. Scare Marcinkoir off of the racing line, compromise him down this back straight and then launch your attack. But Mar, very confident in the race lead, recognised where the danger was, didn't defend fresh air, which is always difficult for a driver, and unfortunately the Peugeot stranded, calls the safety car with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left, as there's another bit of contact. That is Nobe and Girolamo coming to blows, not once, not twice, but 3 times in the final corner, and Ted Bjork once again walks through another open door, although this time a few kisses for good measure as well down the straight. In fact, massive kisses. That's put Nobe in a very treacherous position. 1, 2, 3 contact. Nobe does well to get the car back under control. Everybody's trying to find their way past, and that has allowed Santiago Urrutia up into 7th position. So my call, Santiago being a little bit too far away, is actually a masterstroke from the Uruguayan driver. He's avoided all the silliness that we saw on track and worked his way past everybody in that little battle and up into 7th position. So great bit of opportunistic driving for Santi. That has knocked Nobe down into 8th position. That is the abandoned car of Riley, the Peugeot that we spoke about earlier. Going to be in a difficult place to grab that car off of the racetrack before the checkered flag waves. You can see there's no real snatch vehicles or cranes in that area of the track. So I do fear, folks, that this is done and done with 3 minutes left on the clock plus 1 lap. think the last of our green flag racing action may have been served. We'll find out in the fullness of time, I am absolutely sure. And hopefully we get another opportunity to take a look at the dramas that we've just seen between the Lincoln Co and Hyundai drivers. Norbert Mikulits being the one that very firmly lost out in all of that activity. He's down in 8th position behind Santiago Routier, but more importantly for the Kumho TCR World Tour standings, rival championship leader Jan Alishay is 3rd. So here we go. There's a dive from Nestor Girolami. Let's try and unpick what happened here. Then Nobi and Girolami come back together again. There's a big kiss for Ted Bjork. Bjork's left wing mirror note has been folded in, so he's a little bit lacking on view. Comes onto the racing line that Nobi is trying to occupy. Secondary contact. There's 1. There's 2. And there's 3 as Nobi's trying to get the car under control. The Routier there says thank you very much. Slices his way into in between the middle of the 2 warring cars and up into 7th position. So Nobi didn't know which way the week it was at that moment in time. Cars left, right and centre, all seemingly magnetised to the side of his Hyundai. Norbert Mikulits drops down into 8th position at the end of that one. Ted Bjork was very fortunate as well not to get spat off into the scenery. He holds on to 6th position. It'll go alongside the trophy he got this morning, for 2nd place behind home hero Santiago Routier. So it's been a good day's work so far for Ted Bjork. And there is Riley climbing out of that now recovered Peugeot. We saw at the top of our screen one of the snatch vehicles just dragging that one out of the firing line and out of harm's way, because of course we don't like being in the safety car, but at the very same time safety is of paramount importance in motor racing. So that car's been taken out of the way and immediately the lights on the safety car have been extinguished. So this, folks at home, NASCAR style, is going to be a dash to the flag in the final probably 2 laps by the time they make it round there. A 2-lap dash. Everybody wins or everybody loses. Don't go anywhere. This is going to be quite spectacular, I'm absolutely sure. Marcinkoir, as has done before, gets the great launch off of the line to get the racing going again. Again, Mikael Azcona left sleeping behind the Lincoln Co. Cyan Racing Machine. Jan Alishay in 3rd position, but he's got a pair of Continental Racing Audis for company as we now hit, this is I believe the final or penultimate lap of the race, and the 2 the Lincoln Co. racing cars are under pressure in 3rd position, in 5th position, in 6th position and in 7th position, because they've got 2 Continental Racing Audis for company, and then the 2 behind are in pretty much clean air. The question is, can Santiago Routier find a way past Ted Bjork? I doubt that will be possible at this stage, but let's find out as everybody works their way through the back end of the circuit. Marcinkoir, fantastic on both restarts, gives himself the advantage. That's where racers are won and lost, and Marcinkoir, I feel, has done what he needs to do to get this one secured at the front of the field. Mikael Azcona now dropping back, not able to close that gap down. Jan Alishay a little bit subdued after the contact earlier on, but still a very strong 3rd position. That'll do his championship hopes absolute wonders. Thinking the big picture, will Jan Alishay be in the championship standings? 3rd when your main rival is in strife is a great result to go with the great result that we saw earlier on this morning in his recovery drive from 10th on the grid to 6th in the race. A good, strong haul of points. And there we are, final lap board. This is the last time in Uruguay for the Kumho TCR World Tour drivers and the TCR South America Banco BRB drivers to put on a show for the fans. Can Marcinkoir hold on? Will Mikael Azcona dig deep and find something to find his way past? Will Santiago Routier be able to get past Ted Bjork? A few more corners, those questions will be answered, and the fans are on the edge of their seats as now massive pressure from Mikael Azcona behind, a little bit squirrely, coming out of the left-hander, but he stays within the racing confines. Azcona follows him 1 for 1, trying to find a way past. Now into the braking zone, a lock of wheels from the 155 Cyan Lincoln Co. That'll put him a little bit deep into the next section of corners, but nothing too far away from the apex, nothing too far away from carrying the momentum. Azcona, nothing he could do now apart from hope and pray that the car ahead makes a mistake. The lights are ablaze of Mikel Azcona's car, flashing for good measure as well, filling the mirrors, showing the car to the inside line, trying to make Ma run deep on the brakes. In fact, Azcona is the one that runs a little bit deep, gathers the car together. But through the final corner here at the El Pinar circuit in Uruguay, it is Ma Qinghua for the Lincoln Co. Cyan Racing Team takes race victory. Mikel Azcona and Jan Aleshe round out the podium finishing positions. Esteban Gurrieri takes the victory in TCR South America. Juan Angel Rosso is 11th, and Rafael Suzuki at the absolute death gets the bottom step of the podium in 12th position overall. And folks at home, there is a very deserving race winner for the first time this season. Ma Qinghua etches his name into the history books as he becomes a winner in the Kumho TCR World Tour and ensures that all 4 of the Cyan Lincoln Co drivers have now taken a race victory this season, and that will help Ma no end in his championship charge, coming into the weekend 9th in the championship standings. But that is a big result for the 155. 3 Lincoln Co's dominating the racetrack, line astern, and Ma Qinghua is your race winner from Mikel Azcona and Jan Aleshe. Rob Huff, Frederick Vervies and Ted Bjork are the top 6. Santiago Arrutier recovers to 7th position, starting in 10th, and Noba Michaelis in 8th place. After more than his fair share of drama, it has to be said, in the BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corsa machine. Nesta Girolami eventually makes it through into 9th. Esteban Gurrieri is the winner of TCR South America from Juan Angel Rosso. Rafael Suzuki of Brazil in 3rd in TCR South America. Manuel Casella in 4th. Frederick Balby 5th position. Rafael Race in 6th position in 15th overall. 17th, Galid Osman. 18th, Diego Nunes. Fabricio Pezzini in 19th. Fabian Jan Antuone in 20th place. 21st, Manuel Sepang. Pedro Cardoso. Fabio Casagrande. Adalberto Baptista. Carlos Silva and Enrique Maglione with a damaged Honda round out our finishers. Gonzalo Riley and Ignacio Montenegro are the only 2 drivers that fail to make it to the checkered flag at the conclusion of the second and final race of the weekend here in Uruguay. Not for the first time this weekend, we're seeing a slow-moving Lincoln Co Cyan Racing with a driver and his hand out of the window, but this time it's the turn of Ma Qinghua, the affable driver. He's been around touring car racing and winning in touring car racing, it has to be said, for quite some time. And now Ma, here he is, on track, taking that race victory. And it'll mean a great deal, I am absolutely sure, to Ma Qinghua, the Chinese driver, becoming a winner in the Kumho TCR World Tour. He's won at World Championship level before, but that's the first victory this season for car number 155, and it will have been not unnoticed by Ma and team that he's the only driver at Lincoln Co Cyan Racing not to have taken a victory this season. So I'm sure he'll be delighted to join his teammates Ted Bjork, Jan Aleshe, Santiago Arrutier of race winners this year. All 4 drivers, victories each, and there is Ma Qinghua bringing the car down pit lane. He'll not go to the box. He'll curve off to the right, see where that massive group of people is on the stage. That is where Parc Ferme is located and where the 3 podium finishers plus the winner of TCR South America, Esteban Gurrieri, will line up before the podium celebrations. 3 podiums here this weekend. The overall podium, the TCR South America podium, and the TCR South America trophy podium positions will be awarded, and their opportunity to spray the champagne, and the crowds are gathered to celebrate their heroes and the successes that they have achieved so far. Ma takes the applause of the crowd, lets it all soak in. Now, how good is your parking, Ma? Because that is a tight gap for a touring car to fit in. There we go. Just shuffle Gutierrez's car out of the way. Gutierrez's car even out of the way, and let our race winner take his spot in the middle of the field. Jan Aleshe ready to congratulate his teammate, to be the first man to congratulate, and yep, good sportsmanship there from 3rd place man Jan Aleshe. He'll be just as happy to see his teammate take that first victory of the year. It's always the weight off of the shoulders, isn't it, when you take a first race victory. You start to doubt yourself a little bit over the season, wondering when that time will come, and it's very easy to stiffen up a little behind the wheel, but that will do the power of good to Mar, I am absolutely certain. And look, he's even got the Chinese flag, which is fantastic. Climbs on, careful, it's slippery. Climb onto the top of the car. Take the cheers. Fantastic stuff. Ma Qinghua, a race winner in the Kumho TCR World Tour. That means a lot. And no doubt, that photo there, being taken right now, is the one that's going to appear many, many times on social media and the internet over the next few days. Big victory for Ma Qinghua. Impressive victory for Ma Qinghua. Reverse pole position. Outstanding start. Held off the challenge of anybody behind, including Mikel Azcona. It wasn't like he was being protected by a teammate within the squad. It was Azcona in the Hyundai, but he had no answers whatsoever for Ma, who did a perfect performance, did not put a wheel wrong, soaked up the pressure in fine style, and his reward will be a trophy and some points and some cheers from the fans, because that was a great, great performance from Ma, and caps off what has been, it has to be said, an exceptional weekend for Lincoln Co Siam Racing. Win in race 1, win in race 2, championship lead extended over Norbert Michelis behind. Job done in the first phase of the TCR South America journey that we're here on and with the Kumho TCR World Tour, alongside TCR South America Banco BRB. Pretty much everybody here seems to have flocked towards that podium celebration. It's great to see. I've said this in race 1, but if you're just tuning in for the first time for race 2, it's worth repeating again. The reception to the TCR series from South America has been sensational. It's absolutely wonderful to see how much passion, how much appetite for motor racing there is down in this part of the world, and the welcome that we've received has been great. Let's go speak to our race winner.
Ma, you start the race in first position and you ended in first position, but it wasn't an easy race.
Oh, not at all. We are really pushing, and I was like a qualifying lap every lap, because Miguel is really, really fast. His pace is amazing, and I have to pushing like a hell. Because this race I had 30 kilos of the compensation weight, so that not help at all. So I had to push even more to keep my position. But in the end, yes, I made it. It's amazing. This is the first time as a Chinese driver I drive the Chinese car racing in the international championship, and I won it. So it must be amazing, and it's one of the most important points in my career.
And winning in South America.
Winning in South America, yes. I like Uruguay. This is my lucky place. I like it. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias.
Fantastic stuff, and a very good point as well. A Chinese driver in a Chinese car taking an international level touring car championship race victory is a massive achievement for Ma, and we know that Ma Qinghua has taken much success during his motor racing career, so for him to stand there and say this is potentially the highlight of his career so far shows you just how much it means to the Chinese driver to have taken the victory here at the El Pinar circuit in Uruguay. And look at those crowds waiting to see the podium celebrations, waiting to see the stars of the weekend in both the Kumho TCR World Tour and the TCR South America Banco BRB Championship to take their trophies and the celebrations in what has been a festival of motor racing this weekend. We could not have enjoyed our weekend any more if we tried. It's been fabulous to see the welcome and the reception of the South American people, of the TCR South America organisation, the El Pinar circuit. Everything has been absolutely first rate, and it has produced some incredible race events. That's the finishing positions of round 12 of the Kumho TCR World Tour. Once again, Ma Qinghua, Mikel Azcona, Jan Elishay. The podium finishers, Esteban Gutierrez, Juan Angel Rosso and Rafael Suzuki make up the podium finishers of the TCR South America classification as well. Again, another good showing from the South American drivers, showing that they've got the pace, they've got the chops to go race at an international level with absolutely no problems whatsoever, and put on another fantastic show here in Uruguay. 28 cars there, 3 retirements, unfortunately, that we saw in that race, including TCR South America Championship leader Ignacio Montenegro. But there is Jan Aleshe stepping on to the bottom step of the podium, 3rd position. Good result for the French driver, helps him extend his championship advantage. Mikel Azcona was aggressive, it has to be said, in the early stage of the race, but that one's paid off, for now at least, in 2nd position. And then our race winner. For the first time this season, China's Ma Qinghua, flag in hand, cheers from the crowd. A race winner in the Kumho TCR World Tour for the very first time. Huge congratulations from Jan and Mikel as well. He'll get on to the top step of the podium. Bit windy for that flag, you want to hold on tight, otherwise that may blow away. But nothing will dampen the spirits of Ma Qinghua in what's been a really strong weekend so far, and a great result in this 2nd race of the day to take that race victory. Fabulous performance, fabulous points, and a real boost to his Kumho TCR World Championship standings, but also a real boost to his TCR World rankings. And there is the trophy to be awarded to Jan Aleshe. The mayor giving out the trophy for 3rd position to Jan there. Mikel Azcona waiting for his trophy to be awarded in a few moments' time. A great stage we've got here, by the way, in the middle of the circuit. Really good. The pit lane just behind us, and the fans really get an exceptional view of the drivers and the celebrations and the shows that we have in between race sessions as well. But here is the trophy to be awarded to Mikel Azcona. Tabra Vieira, Uruguay Tourism Minister, gives the trophy to Mikel. He's happy with that one, it has to be said. And then Ma will receive his trophy for the race victory in a few moments' time. So here we go. Ma Qinghua receives the race victory trophy from the mayor once again. Holds it all off to the cheers, and there is the ticket tape, and now it's time for the champagne as our 3 winning drivers celebrate in style what has been another exceptional entry into the Kumho TCR World Tour Series this season. Fabulous performance from all 3 drivers. Celebratory photographs to be taken by the official photographers. Arm in arm are our 2 top finishing drivers. Great stuff from both of those, and a big thanks. I've just been past the points positions for our driver. Jan Aleshe is the leader still on 234, Norbert Michelis 221. Mikel Azcona's done himself the world of good to move up into 3rd in the overall standings with 205 points. Rob Huff on 199 in 4th, and Bebu Girolami 196 in 5th position. These are provisional, of course, but we need to do the check-in to make sure everybody's behaved themselves and not fallen foul of the wrath of the stewards at the end of the race. But that's no problems for these drivers at this moment in time, because being sprayed by champagne is the reward for a hard day's racing. And I hope Lincoln Co. Cyan Racing have brought plenty of race suits with them for this leg of the journey, because there's lots of champagne covering those suits that need to be used again just next week when we head to Argentina. With great performance from Ma, great performance from Lincoln Co. and the entirety of the field here at El Pinar for the 2nd and final race of the weekend. And now it's time for the podium celebrations of the TCR South America Banco BRB Championship, and it will be a man that's come in as a guest, that's returning to TCR Touring Car Racing, took the race win, but we'll come to that in a moment as Rafael Suzuki gets on the 3rd step of the podium. Suzuki won't be in Argentina next weekend. He's going back to Stock Car Brazil, his main full-time series, but a great performance nevertheless from Rafael Suzuki. 3rd position, well earned at the end of the race. In 2nd place, Juan Angel Rosso Another very talented driver for the Toyota moves himself onto the second step of the podium. He'll be satisfied with that one. And then here is Esteban Gurriere on his return to TCR touring car. Podium this morning, victory this afternoon, and a big smile and a big cheer from the Argentine driver. That is a very, very strong performance indeed for the Bratton Tito Bessoni team Toyota Corolla TCR driver. Trophies aloft. Cheer from the crowd. Fantastic showmanship there from Gurriere. Ticker tape, fire, flyers and smoke, and a celebration for three drivers who performed very, very well indeed to wrap up those podium positions for themselves, and also representing TCR South America in a very good way indeed. I'm sure many people will be exposed to TCR South America for the very first time this weekend who follow the Kumho TCR World Tour. Let me give you a bit of free advice, a recommendation. Continue watching the series because it's a great championship, great presentation, great commentary team, and it's well worth you watching and enjoying the racing action as it unfolds for the rest of the year. They visit some incredible tracks. The drivers have proven themselves to be quality competitors, so I would recommend follow TCR South America after this weekend and next weekend, because that's a great championship that's only getting stronger week in, week out. So podium celebrations for our TCR South America drivers are over, and now it's time for the TCR South America trophy drivers. We had two on the podium earlier today. Our trophy drivers heading up there now to take their celebrations. The crowd ready to cheer on our drivers. And again, another great performance. Baptista that we see there, second position. And then top step of the podium, Casagrande with the win. Arms aloft, cheer, that means a lot for Casagrande. Trophies aloft, family photograph time, and then spray some champagne and celebrate what has been another great race for the three of them to secure respective podiums in their classification. Fantastic stuff from all three drivers. Fantastic stuff from everybody involved. Thoroughly enjoyed our time here in South America. Hope you've enjoyed these two races at the El Pinar circuit. Full of drama, overtaking and action. This is one of the biggest moments of the race. Ted Bjork and Norbert Michaelis going side by side. Nobody does well to keep the car on the racetrack and avoid going off, but that will be, I am sure, looked at very closely indeed at the end of the race. Marchinquois did not need to worry about any of these problems at the front of the field, though, converting that pole position into not only once, but twice into a race-leading advantage, and a great victory nonetheless. Remember, we're back again next weekend in Argentina, so make sure that you tune into the TCR TV app and TCR TV on YouTube to catch all the action as it happens as the Kumho TCR World Tour, the TCR South America Banco BRD Championship continues what has been a glorious festival of motorsport.